Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. So tonight on the program, we're taking a closer look at some of the outcome of the political party primaries that we're seeing, especially the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. The growing controversy surrounding the outcome and the conduct, especially in places like Rivers State, the allegations of intimidation, candidate imposition, and the disqualification of key aspirants, including Senator Epalibo Banigo, Mr. Teye Jack Ridge, and some of the supporters of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and several political stakeholders say the process has now deepened tensions within the party and raised serious questions about internal democracy ahead of the 2027 elections. Well, joining us tonight to examine the fallout, the concerns of Rivers elders and citizens, and what these developments could mean for the political future of Rivers State is a right activist and a Rivers elder state woman, Ms. Ankyo Briggs, who is live for us virtually on the program. Thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
I know you're not a member you're not a member of the APC, but it does look that you are heavily and greatly concerned about what has happened in the APC. Why does this really concern you?
The concern is not just about what APC has done so far. The concern starts from 2023. From 2023, we have had to live with this process and actions that have constantly destabilized the governor from governing Governor Siminalayi Fubara, from governing Rivers State the way we believe he should govern Rivers State. Now, he has moved from PDP to APC. There must have been a reason why he moved from PDP to APC. And just looking at what is going on right now, where the number one citizen of the state and a member of APC, the 001 of APC, has not been given the same assurance that other governors that are coming for second tenure are being given, which is to say that they get first refusal. From what we are seeing, that is not what has happened to Governor Siminalayi Fubara. So the people of Rivers State begin to wonder what is going on between the arrangements that have been made that led to him crossing over to APC, and the so-called peace that we kept listening and hearing about every single time that he went to meet with either the FCT minister or the president himself. The River State people were told, and I kept saying I didn't believe it until we see what is going on. Now we're beginning to see what is going on, where the governor was suspended. Ibas conducted an illegal election where he handed over governance to Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and he handed over local government chairmen that are not working with him. So as we speak right now, we have a governor that we're not sure if he's going to get the ticket for the party that he has crossed over to. We have a governor that is facing, supposedly we're hearing, is facing the opposition leader of PDP in the House of Rep, who does not seem to have resigned and joined the APC, and yet he has gotten a ticket to compete with Governor Siminalayi Fubara at the upcoming Congress or the upcoming Congress or whatever they call it in APC on Saturday. Now, why is it that Fubara is exposed or being exposed to this, where he's supposed to have right of first refusal? And all of these things is still setting Rivers State up for for crisis that we have gone through in the past almost 4 years now, 3 years plus, that we have gone through this crisis, this political crisis that has gone on between the Federal Capital Territory minister and the governor of River State, who kept telling us that everything is sorted out, and the former governor kept saying nothing has been sorted out. I will never forgive him. He will never be the governor of River State. The Federal Capital Territory minister is not the ruler or the emperor of Rivers State. Rivers people have decided whom they will vote for and whom they have supported. So what is going on right now in Rivers State, not only is it not going to be in the best interest of Rivers State, it will at the end of the day not be in the best interest of APC or the president of Nigeria himself. The organic support that the Governor Similaye Fubara has enjoyed since he became governor would ordinarily have been also in the interest of the governor, of the president, the moment the governor moved over from PDP to APC. Now, what is playing out gives doubt and brings rise to that assumption that the president is going to enjoy what the governor has enjoyed. You can't remove, or you shouldn't remove, the governor that is wanted by the people and then assume that everything is going
let me jump in quickly.
All right. When you talk about
just a moment, if I may jump in, just a moment. You are inferring that Governor Similaye Fubara is not going to be on the ballot. What gives you that kind of feeling? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
So my question is, what gives you the feeling that Governor Similaye Fubara may not be on the ballot? Because you are saying they are removing, and you mentioned that a couple of times. The governor is on the seat. The governor should naturally enjoy a forced right of refusal or right of forced refusal in a case or situation like this. But you are inferring as though Governor Similaye Fubara is not in contention right here. Yeah.
Well, if we accept that it doesn't seem to the people, we're talking about the people of River State, it doesn't seem to the people of River State. Why should Chinda, who is in PDP, now be contending on an APC platform? Chinda bought ticket on APC. He didn't buy it on PDP. So if he's contending with the governor on APC, we are right to assume that there is something fundamentally and critically wrong with what APC is doing. I've never heard in any state in Nigeria since 1960 where we have a situation where someone who is not a governor of a state is now the head of a coalition of a state where two parties are controlled by one person. So these are all things that are throwing this confusion and this political instability into River State. Why should we be discussing or not be sure as to whether the governor of River State, Similaye Fubara, is actually running for governor on the platform of PDP, or he is not being told to run on the platform of APC. So all of these things is confusing to the people of River State. And so if we seem to be confused, we are not the people setting the confusion. The confusion is being set by APC. The confusion is being set by the level of interference that the president has allowed to go on in River State. Now, whether that is his own assumption or appreciation of what is happening in River State, or it is based on what he is being told, I'm not sure. But what I am sure of is that the confusion we are facing today, where we do not know whether the governor is going to run on the ticket of APC or not run on the ticket of APC, is what is our concern. The fact that you have a senator that was once the deputy governor to the former governor of Rivers State, now not qualifying after she was qualified 4 years ago. This is a lady that has been in the system, in the political and governance system of River State to the highest level, now not qualified. She is a medical doctor. How and why is she not qualified? And why are all these people who are supporters of Governor Similayo Fubara are the ones that have been disqualified? Boma Goodluck, Abiante, and so many others. And if you recall, what we have today in the National Assembly are 3 ladies as senators, and now one has been disqualified. And so that also knocks out the affirmative rights of women in representation in politics in Nigeria, and as a matter of fact, in all over the world. So these are the things that is confusing us, and these are the things that we want to discuss and we want clarification on when it comes to Rivers State.
Ms. Ankel Briggs, there are those who will say, leave the politicians and their politicking and their internal shenanigans to them. Why does this bother an average citizen who becomes the next governor of Rivers State or who becomes the next senator of any senatorial district? And there are those who will say these are internal politics and they go about it the way they see it. What is important to some people on the outside is who are those that are on the ballot. Are you bothered about the internal politics? And why should it bother some of you who are elders within the Rivers State community?
It is a situation that should not only bother the elders. It's a situation that should even bother a child of 6-year-old who understands what politics is meant to deliver for that child: free education, free primary education, healthcare, security. So to say that why should it bother us? Why should it not bother us? I mean, politicians are not the owners of Nigeria. Politicians are not the owners of Rivers State. Politicians are servants of the country and they are servants of the state. Therefore, if we find ourselves in a situation where we know that this is not in our interest, then we have every right to raise our voices and let the president and the world to hear and understand that, as they well know, this is not acceptable. The president was a governor one time. He would never have allowed this in his state.
Yeah. So those who will hear you tonight and say, look, you are speaking because you are not a fan of Minister Nyesom Wike. And maybe you are worried about what has become his dominance across the 2 political parties.
That is not true. The Federal Capital Territory Minister himself knows very well my support that I gave to him. He didn't ask for it. I gave him that support. And he had no issues with me or with bringing Similayo Fubara, as he quite rightly said that he did. Now, the issue that we're talking about in Rivers State is what his actions has turned Rivers State into. We have a dichotomy in Rivers State. That dichotomy is upland and riverine. And that's why he brought Similar Ifobra. Now, you cannot be God and bring Similar Ifobra and decide that he will serve only 4 years, and then you bring Chinda, who is an Ikwere man, who is an upland man, to come and take over the remaining tenure of the riverine tenure. And these are the realities of Rivers people. So moving your supporters, all the people that were cleared, none of them is a supporter of FOBRA. So even just giving FOBRA the nomination form to run, the form to run, or the position to run, does not really give Rivers people anything whatsoever. He does not have a local government chairman. He does not have a councillor. He does not have senator. He does not have a House of Rep member. He does not have a state assembly member. So really, what is he supposed to be doing for us? We that support him are waiting to see the end of where this thing is going. Let it get to its logical conclusion. But if that logical conclusion is going to include the destabilizing of Rivers State, the denying Rivers people their political rights, and even disrespecting, embarrassing the governor of Rivers State, and having taken everything that they can take away from the governor, from the suspension to where he is today, it's not going to make us dislike him. It is going to make us see very carefully, very clearly, how far he has come and what he has had to go through. I think the only thing that we can be grateful for right now is that the governor of Rivers State is still alive. That's one thing we have to be grateful for. But politically, when you look at every other thing, there is nothing to show that he is respected or accepted either by the PDP or by the Federal Capital Territory Minister and his band of supporters, that they have any regard for Rivers people, or that they have any regard for the governor of Rivers State. And they cannot kick Rivers State people around for the next 4 years. It's not going to be it's not going to augur well, both for the president and for the people of Rivers State.
There are those who will say, politically speaking, now it's going to be a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? Those of you who have rooted for Governor Similar Ifubara, and I'm hearing a lot of people saying it does look like, and the manner in which you have spoken tonight, Madam Anke Briggs, and you can see the handwriting. If you go back to the list, my producer put back the list of those who have been disqualified by the APC ahead of the Senatorial Screening Committee, about 4 of them from Rivers West contesting for that race. And you look at prominent people, like a former deputy governor who is a sitting senator, Epalebo Baningo, and someone like Jack Rich, who was a presidential aspirant less than 4 years ago, are all disqualified. And you'll be wondering what exactly. And you see all of those who are aligned, who are Minister Nyesom Wike's allies, are now queued up in the APC, perhaps because of the crisis that is going on in the PDP. So there are those who say tonight, Mr. Anke Briggs, that there are those of you who do not like the face and the politics of Nyesom Wike. You're probably going to swallow the bitter pill, because it looks like he's totally in control of the PDP and totally in control of the APC. You have to live with him, don't you, and his politics?
Well, I mean, he is a Rivers man. Now, that does not give him the right to own Rivers State. Going back to people like Epalebo, Boma Goodhead, and Jack Rees, but Senator Epalebo directly, going back to her, I've raised the issue of the fact that she's a woman and she's been denied that political role to represent women. That's one. 2, I've also highlighted the fact that this lady is a medical doctor. She's not practicing now, she's in politics, but she's a medical doctor. This lady has risen all the way up to the level of PAMSEC in the civil servants. She was good enough to be deputy to the former governor of Rivers State, now Federal Capital Territory minister. She was actually very neutral. She was one of the most neutral people in this issue between the former governor and the present governor. Now, if she qualified under the other circumstances that I have highlighted, what then makes her unqualified at this particular time, at this particular moment? Why did they disqualify her? They should tell us when they disqualify the people that are representing us and the people that we want to come back. Look, not everybody likes Ann Kubricks, not everybody likes you, Shehu. But the truth of the matter is that it's not about liking or not liking. It's about doing what is right. It's about doing what is justiciable. Now, what has happened in Rivers State? There is nobody in Nigeria that will say that what we have been through. I've heard people say, oh, agreements and this and that. You can't shave a man's head behind his back. You cannot agree on anything. And this includes FUBRA and Wike. You cannot agree between yourselves on anything quietly that concerns the people, the future, and the rights of Rivers State. Rivers State is not your property to agree or disagree on. It is belonging to all the people of Rivers State. So what you are seeing is the resistance of Rivers people saying that it is disagreeable to them the way that the former governor has carried on. That does not mean that you dislike the governor. What I personally do is I dislike what the former governor is doing in Rivers State. You cannot own Rivers State. There is no way you can own Rivers State. Rivers State does not belong to him. But with the powers that has been allocated to him, with what he's doing in the Federal Capital Territory, with what he's doing in Rivers State, with what he has done, where everybody is disqualified, and only him could have come to that conclusion and done only that. And he has said it openly that only what he wants, only who he says, even Ireti Kinkibe, who is in the Federal Capital Territory and representing the Federal Capital Territory, has been told that she's not going to come back. So what I'm saying is, what he is doing is not just only in Rivers State, and what he is doing should not be acceptable to the people of Nigeria, because his hands are everywhere. His hands are in every people's pot. I mean, he wants to decide who will become the governor in Imo State. He wants to decide who will become the governor in some southwestern state where PDP are holding sway. You can't continue to. What is happening is he is actually not only destabilizing the Rivers State, he is also destabilizing the politics in Nigeria. And this cannot go on forever. There are people and states that will not accept it. I also maintain again that the people of Rivers State have a right to know why people like Ipalibo have been disqualified, people like Boma Goodhead, people like Abiante, people that have newly come in and want to run for positions that seem to be leaning either on their own or towards FOBRA, now are all disqualified. So really, when he becomes the governor, what exactly is he becoming, when everybody that is around him is going to work against him? And like I said, we're watching, and at the end of it all, towards the end of it all, the people of Rivers State, whom the governor is governing, will still have a right to say to ourselves, this is not good enough. We're not accepting this. And so if this is how the president and the former governor and the APC want to play the politics in Nigeria in 2027, let them play that politics, and let us see where that politics is going to end Nigeria, whether it's going to be in the interest of Nigeria or whether it is going to completely disintegrate Nigeria. But in my view, what is going on in Nigeria today has everything in the pot to destabilize Nigeria, and where the people might say they have a right to go their own way. We can't go on like this. We cannot, and we will not, and we should not.
All right. Ms. Ankyo Briggs is a human rights activist and members of the Rivers State Elders community. And of course, by every means, has become an elder state woman in this country. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight on the program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.